What's up, everybody? My name is Kieran. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I like to help people with their spiritual awakening, help guide people onto a better path of self-enlightenment. Okay? Sounds like a good way of saying it, right? Today I wanted to do a video basically on some signs, 5 specifically, that you're about to level up, right? That you're about to take the next big leap in your spiritual journey, in your life path, that there's something on the horizon that's good, okay? Not that there's some feeling of change, there's something about to happen, something for your highest good. Okay, so it's just 5 signs, some things that you can kind of look at to determine where you're at. You might be feeling some of these, all of these, as well as additional things that I haven't mentioned. There's lots of things. I just narrowed them down into 5 different things because of the most prominent things that I think are going to be able to really help actually discern whether or not you're actually about to make a big leap in your life, whether or not you're really about to level up, whether or not there's something that's about to change in your life. Okay, so the first one that I put is the doubt and the insecurities begin to flare up. Okay, so when this happens, when you're about to like make a new choice, you're going into when you're about to do something, right? There's something positive. The people call them the demons, right? The demons, the negativity, the energies, the insecurities, the doubts. They flare up. They come at you from pretty much out of nowhere, where you might once have thought that you've dealt with them, right? But you haven't, because they're still there, right? And so they kind of attack you. You feel like the addictions and the whatever it might be. Maybe it's a food addiction. Maybe it's drugs. I don't know, whatever it is for you. Maybe you can't stop watching porn. I have no idea what people are into, right? There's lots of things that affect you, right? There's things that other people are doing as well. Maybe you're specifically trying to quit a specific action or a specific habit, and it just so happens that your friends are suddenly inviting you to do the thing that you don't want to do anymore, right? Drinking or something like that. Every time I've tried to really like stop smoking weed, for example, suddenly a bunch of friends are like, "Oh, would you like to come over and get high with me?" And you know what I mean? It just works out like that. That every time you try to make a positive change, there's going to be some type of negative energy, whether in a person, an idea, a belief system that you have, or some old, outdated habits, addictions, etc. They might come back at you, right? Basically, in order, like a test, right? And not even like a test that is supposed to be some like life altering, like, oh, you failed, you loser. No, it's not about that. It's not about if you messed up and you ended up getting into it and it's like you missed the boat type of thing. Now it's more like a repeated type of test that you can take over and over and over again until you pass it. It's like one of those easy online college quizzes that you might have had if you've ever been to college. Sometimes it just had tests where you could take it as many times as you wanted until you got like a good grade. Those are my favorite classes, personally. The other classes, I failed a couple times. I failed math like 3 times because I couldn't take them over again, and I sucked with numbers. Okay, so it's the same type of thing. This isn't like this isn't a test that's like, like that big final exam that's the failure, right? These are like repeated type of like lessons, right? That you're being asked to learn, right? And they happen especially when you're about to make a big leap, okay? And the same ones might come again in the next big leap that you make. Basically, the things that you struggle with are the things where your doubts and your insecurities, where your problems come from, right? It's why you have a specific set of imperfections, let's say, things that you struggle with, whereas somebody else might not, right? I've met people that never struggled with diet in their life, right? This just never was the conditioning, never, that's not their thing, right? But they might struggle in different areas with things that I've never struggled with. So like I have struggled with diet, binge eating, stuff like that. I love chocolate. If I could, I would live in a chocolate river, and I would set up a house there, and I would build like a yard. Like if Willy Wonka, if that chocolate factory was real, I'd be like that fat kid that whatever his name was, Fatty McFaddington. They had a character name. He was a fat kid, and what happened to him? He got stuck in a tube or something, right? I haven't seen the original movie since I was like 14, so I don't really remember what happens. But the point is, that would be me, the greedy little fat kid with all the chocolate, right? But other people that I know, they really struggle giving up almost things that I perceive to be like, wow, you really struggle with that. Like that's something I didn't even think that you could possibly struggle with, right? But other people really struggle with drinking, for instance. This wouldn't be that example, but there's smaller examples that people struggle with that I just didn't happen to. But drinking is a kind of a big one that I've never had to struggle with. People trying to give up drinking and stuff like that. Other people trying to give up unhealthy relationships, stuff like that. Or they're afraid to do this, they're afraid to do that. I know lots of people that are afraid to leave their terrible, shitty job. The Pizza Huts of the world. Whereas me, I've never been afraid to leave those types of jobs. So I've never struggled with that type of specific issue, right? But other people do, right? Other people feel that they need to make this change and then they can't. And then with me, I feel sometimes that I need to change the diet, and it's like, oh, I can't. But other people, they don't have that problem. And sometimes I'm like, oh man, I wish I had their problem. You know what I mean? But it's for everybody, it's the same type of thing, right? These insecurities and these doubts, they come up right when you're about to make this big change because, which is number 2, you feel called to go in a new direction, right? There's something that you wish to do or wish to accomplish, even if you don't have the foundations of it completely, like the blueprint might be missing a page or the puzzle just doesn't have all the pieces yet, right? There's something that you wish you could really accomplish. You might have a goal, might be writing a book, you might be doing some music, business, partnerships, even a relationship, job, traveling, new places that you want to go, even something as simple as a vacation or getting a new pet or something, right? Maybe the last pet that you had really really was like your spirit animal, right? And like you feel like you want to get a new animal. It could be any range of things, right? But you feel called to go in a new direction in some area of your life, right? And this is why the insecurities and the doubts come up, because you have that intention. You know that there's something that you are feeling called to do. You want to do it. Maybe you want to join the circus. I don't know. Maybe you want to open up a shop, right? A business that just sells snow globes of Star Wars themed characters. I don't know. That'd be a cool idea. Let me know if anybody does that. I'll put some money into that. I'll buy a Star Wars snow globe. I don't give a shit. But yeah, you feel called to go in a direction, and things take you to different places, and that's why you get these walls and these obstacles, because they just come up as if as if to tell you that you're getting close, right? And that's how you know you're getting close. You know you're getting somewhere when suddenly everything gets really dark, and you were like, but I was going into a positive direction. Why now? Do I feel so shitty? Why are these things coming up? Why are these people that I thought that I dealt with, suddenly feeding me this negative energy? It's just this little challenge, just a little test, just to prove that you're on the right path, right? Because you're going in a new direction and you're heading somewhere bright. And when if you want to think about it like you're heading towards the sunlight, well, you often have to go through the darkness to get there, right? Just in terms of even physicality of the world, right? It's always dark somewhere, but in order to get to the light, it has to get dark, right? Same as the cycle, right? That was a terrible way of doing this. But it's a cycle, right? So you have to sometimes go through the darkness to get to the light, right? Number 3 is you're clearing space, physically or emotionally, or both. And this, of course, also spiritually as well. So with me, I felt called to get rid of a lot of stuff in the past, let's say month or so, specifically over the last 2 weeks, right? I've thrown away a lot of stuff, given away clothes that I don't need anymore, or that don't fit, or that just kind of I feel outdated from, or whatever. Even some of the nicer clothes, I just went into Goodwill and gave them away. Like I had an $80 robe, okay? I bought an $80 robe like a year ago, and I realized I was looking at it and I was thinking, what kind of asshole gets an $80 robe? And that's not even, like, people probably buy robes that are like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. But like me, like I'm not like some wealthy person like that. I'm like have all this money where I can just buy an $80 robe. Like, who am I, right? I was looking at the robe, like, and it was super comfortable. It felt like a pillow being wrapped in like a blanket kind of thing, which is I guess what a robe is. But it was just this is arrogant. When I look back at it, I was like, why did I think that I needed an $80 robe, right? It wasn't really because I wanted to be super comfortable. I mean, it was comfortable, but it was more about the materialism of it all, right? because it was a brand name Nautica $80 robe from like Macy's, and I was like, yeah, I'll take that, right? Even though like at the time there's all sorts of things that the $80 could have been paying towards, right? Bills or things for my career, and it's just so I've been giving away things, feeling lighter, right? I've been moving things around, getting rid of things, not just clothes, and then emotionally, you might feel that you're bringing up all these emotions. You might be crying a lot, releasing. There might be some pain in your heart space, and you've just been bringing them up. You might have a day where you're just crying and bawling and just eating a lot, just going through all these motions. And then the next day you wake up and you're like, huh, that's not so bad anymore. I feel okay actually. And so that's kind of, you feel like your things are being brought up so you to release, so you feel lighter, right? You might have this natural inclination to feel lighter in your life, right? So this might play out again emotionally, physically. You might even be changing your diet. I've been struggling to get going with fasting. It's been more difficult than I thought it would be. So I managed like 1 day so far, and my goal was like 3, but I did do 1 day, which was cool because it took me like a couple weeks just to get the 1 day, like to actually do 1 day. But the goal in this stuff is always there. It's to feel lighter, right? And that's how you know that you're ready for a next change, is because you're trying to you're just clearing space, right? In whatever way that might be for you. Okay. 4 is you're feeling highly energized, or you're feeling extremely lethargic, right? You're feeling very low. You're on these two kinds of really really high, really really low. Okay, and that's either because the energy, right? You're in this, and you might even deal with them at the same time, of course. But you might feel very high, right, 1 day, and very low the next. Or you just might be in a perpetual state of high energy, ready for the next thing. Yeah, let's go. Or you might be just really low, like I can't do it. I suck. There's nothing. I don't feel good, right? You're in this huge polarity of these energies that might also flip flop like to day, sometimes even hour to hour, right? As if you suddenly have bipolar disorder or something crazy, right? That you feel like there's something going on that you can't explain. And that is because of again, you're preparing for something. You're preparing for something that's big. You're about to enter a new level in your spirituality. You're about to do something different than what you've done before, either in a way that you're thinking, a state of being, a place, whatever it may be. You're about to take a next step. And when you take a next step, it's very, very scary. So very low, you get stuck in these heavy emotions from your past that are coming up to get released, right? Or you are very, very excited because, oh shit, yeah, I'm gonna do the thing, and I'm gonna do it. It'll be great. Yeah, right. That's why you get all the way up. Okay, it's kind of like cocaine and indica weed, just two opposite spectrums. I've done both in my life, so I know what the feeling is like. And trust me, they both are pretty bad. Maybe not the weed one. Number 5 is you're frustrated with how things are. Right? This is the most like potent one, really, to me, is because when you're ready for a next level, you're sick of the level you're at, right? You're tired. And if you think about life as a game, like, okay, the other day I thought about it like Mario. Okay, I don't know if you guys ever played Super Mario World or whatever for the Game Boy or Nintendo, or it's the same shit, right? Or the actual system itself, I mean. You'll notice that in Mario World, they had like World 1, World 2, World 3, etc., right? And when you go to World 1, it's like, this shit was easy, right? There's like maybe 20 levels in each one. Obviously, as you go through it, the 20th level is the hardest one, right? And then you go to World 2 and it starts off easy again. And you're like, yeah, right? And that's basically how it goes. It's like cycles of the world. If you're familiar with the tarot deck, the world card is a major arcana card about cycles being completed and the next big thing coming to fruition, right? So you feel just frustrated with how things are, right? You're in that level or whatever world you're in. You're near the end, like the 19th, 20th level, the final ones. Things are hard, the obstacles, everything's coming up. You want to get to the next level. You just can't beat this level. God, oh my God, how do you do it? How do you do it? How do you do it? I want to get there. I want to get there. And then there's no greater feeling than when you finally beat that level. Okay, when you finally do get to that next level, it makes all that struggle and all that pain worth it, and that's why it's there, is so you can actually get there, because that frustration is your own willpower fighting against what you know not to be a true representation of yourself. And you want to get over that hump. You want to get over the things that block you, that have been weighing you down, whether they're self-imposed or others have been doing it to you, right? You just want to get out of that. And so that frustration, that's like it builds through your willpower. It forces you the pressure, right? It makes you have this drive. Like you're like, I'm sick of this shit. Let me get out of here. And you try harder, right? You focus more. You stop listening to the doubts and the insecurities, and you keep going in the direction you feel called to, right? And that's just it's a very potent type of energy that's needed during times like this. In order to get to the next level, you often need pressure and some type of energy to get there, right? Some type of willpower. Sorry, my contacts are bothering me. I think it's this annoying fluorescent light. Anyway, or I need new contacts. I don't know. But those are just 5 things that you're about to, reach the next level. That you're about to get somewhere. Again, the doubts, the insecurities, they flare up. You're heading in a new direction. You feel called to go somewhere new. You're clearing space. You're making your room, trying to feel lighter. You're feeling these energies of highs and lows, and you're just frustrated with how things are. Okay, and if you're feeling that way, if you feel those types of things or some variations of those kinds of signs, then you really are about to jump into the next level. You're about to make some type of leap. You're about to go forward somewhere. You're about to reach the next plateau. You're about to reach that mountaintop. You're going to have that success, that feeling of lightheartedness. You're going to be there, and you're going to see things differently. And it's something to be excited about. So hopefully you can use that to go forward if you're stuck right now. I'm hoping that this message is for somebody out there who just feels a little bit stuck right now with whatever they're going through. Okay? So I hope that helped, guys. Let me know if it did. All right, guys. You guys have a wonderful day, all right?